Hello everyone and welcome to the 8th round of the FRL Division 2 Season 3 Championship. We are back at the Lotewijk Hill circuit and we've got more drivers this time around compared to Division 1 about an hour ago, so that's good to see. And with me in the commentary box, it's not Wolf who's with me right now, he's driving right now. With me in the commentary box is Gareth. Hello Gareth.
Hello, good to be back. Yeah, so this race, there will be a strategy battle, I reckon. If you watched Division 1 earlier, you'll know there was a split between the one stop and the two stop. Some made it work, some didn't, so I'll be interested to see what these guys do in Division 2.
Yes, last time out we had a strategy battle between the two stoppers and the one stopper. So like two drivers tried out the one stop or the two stop, and three drivers went for the one stop, and in the end it got very close where we had a fight for the lead between two drivers who were on different strategies, and we're hoping to see the same again. Some drivers thinking that oh, there's actually potential doing the one stop, or a lot of drivers playing it safe and going for the two stop. Only time will tell. But meanwhile, we are underway in qualifying as everyone is right there on the outlap, and at the front of the queue is 8 Straight, who is reserving this race for Spicy Racing.
To be honest, I think the one stop will work better this race because there were only 7 drivers in Division 1, so there's less dirty airs to get through. Obviously, it depends how many people do which strategy.
Yeah.
But with this race, there's potential for more dirty air if you're coming through the field on the two stop.
Exactly. I think it's highly dependent on how the race will turn out and how spread out the field will be, because we only have like 6 or 5 cars remaining in the D1 race, but all of those drivers were quick. They were relatively close to each other pace-wise. But perhaps here, we're expecting to everyone to be relatively close here, but you never know. The field could be more spread out, which could allow the two stop to be more viable. It's very close. I think without dirty air, the two stop would have been better. But with dirty air, it could be a very risky strategy if you can't overtake. If you get held up too much through the dirty air and you can't cope with that enough, you really have to move up the order fast if you want to make the two-stop strategy work. That's what we have learned from the Division 1 race earlier today. But this is a new race, and things could pan out differently.
Yep. So 8 Straight coming through sector 3 now to finish his lap. What will the first banker time be? Takes the final corner.
Oh, he's running very wide. A little bit wide, actually keeps on track, but that's not the ideal line. I see a yellow car right behind him. That is Zvet, who is setting a 1:14.7, a very quick time. Blaze also goes very fast. Let me look up what the pole time from Division 1 was, because this is 14.7 is already pretty close, I reckon. Yeah. Pole time was a 14.5, so yeah, that's very close already, set by Axel Gaming, who unfortunately couldn't make this race. You might have seen him in the YouTube chat letting us know that. Would have been great to see him fight for the win here. I'm pretty sure he would have been in a shout if he were here, but looks like he isn't, so it's going to go down between the remaining drivers. And also, another thing worthy of mention is the championship battle in this division. It's very close here, Gareth. We got Jabil in first place, leading the championship by 9 points from Blaze, who is in second in the championship and third in this qualifying so far. And our third contender for the championship is Zvet, who is currently on provisional pole, and he is 15 points behind the leader. So with 3 rounds to go, any of those 3 drivers are in a shout of claiming the Division 2 title. Which of course is going to yield some extra formula points, which haven't been dished out in a while. I'm sorry for that. And of course, bragging rights. And perhaps a physiological advantage heading into Season 4, perhaps even. As of course, the top 3, they will get the right to race in Division 1 next season. The top 3 championship finishers at the end of this season. Looks like that the top 3 has been set pretty much been set, as Axel is in 4th place in the championship, but he is 24 points behind P3 and he's not attending. And the next car behind Axel is PvP, who isn't here either.
Not here, no.
So it looks like the top 3 has pretty much been cemented unless something crazy happens. I mean, when we see Jabil make a mistake, that's his run over.
Creep up into the top 6. I don't think Trippy's here.
Trippy is here either. We see XRN joining EDNF last time out. Let's see for who he is reserving this time. Oh, no, he's a main driver. Never mind. I thought he was for some reason I thought he was an Asia Cup driver. I think he was, but that's my memory not being up to speed.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, we see 8 straight move up to 8th place, taking over 8th place from Anthony Grease, who's just coming out of the pits right now. Let's see if any of the top guys are. Oh, Blaze with a 14.6 right now.
DSF has just started a lap, so I wonder if he can respond.
Going to look on board with him. See, using all the space available, that's a good corner. Approaching the middle sector right now. Not sure how it is. The first couple of corners went, but looks like, let's assume he's on a good lap right now. Never mind. Oh. Just as I'm saying that, he abandons his lap and is going to try to start a new one. Let's see, Jabil hits the wall.
I think he's on
at the end of sector 2. Not sure if he's on the hot lap or not. He seems to be pushing. It's not a perfect lap, so it might not be yield anything. Although that final corner looks very fast, really nailing those final couple of corners. Let's see, he's coming to the line. He does not improve.
Yeah, he is. Hot lap now, then.
Yeah, he is carrying on. So I assume that was his out lap. Let's ride on board with him for this lap unless he messes up, of course. Looking good so far, hitting the apex, keeping it within track limits, pretty much on the edge of what you can do. So a good lap from Jabil so far, approaching the blind left-hander. First of 2 around this track. Again, using all the space available. Bit of lag going on here, but he is keeping on track. Very good first sector so far. Potential pole lap. We are looking at a potential pole lap here. Running a bit wide though, coming out of the... So, right.
So he does through sector 2.
Excuse me right there.
Yeah.
I had a cough all of a sudden. Almost kind of choked. Jeez. Anyway, that's a wall tap right there. Not the best sector 2 right there. He's approaching sector 3 right now.
Close to the walls.
He is avoiding, he's just about keeping it on track. Oh, did he hit the wall? Very weird to find the corner, at least from my PV. It looked like he carried a lot of speed through there. Could be lag. Let's see what's going to do as he runs up to the line. He does not improve. We're now looking aboard with Wolf, who might be on a lap. It will be really useful to see, perhaps something to add in the future to see whether they are on a flying lap or not. That would be nice to see their delta times. What kind of lap zone, because now we have to kind of guess whether they are on a fast lap or not. And we see Wolf hitting the wall though through the S section here. Now in the final sector, it's a bit conservative through the triple chicane here. Going through the final corner, carries a lot of speed through there. Very good final corner though. Let's see what Wolf is going to do. Is he going to improve his lap time? No, he doesn't. But he is carrying on, though. You know, let's see who else might be on the lap time. I think Svet might be on the lap time, or he's on an out lap. Coming around. He's coming out in the final corner. Let's see if he's going to improve his lap time. Or he's about to start one, and he goes fastest. A 1:14.4. That's quicker than the Division 1 pole time. Impressive stuff right there.
Wow. So Racing Star taking up the first and second position.
Yeah, now watching Blaze coming through the final corner. Let's see if he can respond to his teammate.
No.
he doesn't. He might be starting his lap though. He is a pole contender, so we're going to stick on board with him for this lap in this final moment of qualifying, with just 20 seconds on the clock. Oh, that is Blaze running wide. That might be his lap ruined. That's going to cost him at least a 10th, I reckon, running that wide. There's another car behind. That is Exile Titan, a little bit further back, taking a tighter line compared to Blaze. Blaze is still carrying on his lap, so he must be on a decent lap, but I reckon he's going to be down on his PB. Meanwhile, Svet is coming into the pit, so his qualifying is over. Jabil's qualifying is also done, the championship leader, remember?
Blaze is done.
Oh, Blaze is done, he slows down. Let's see, who's the next car to watch? Wolf's here. Let's watch him as he runs wide. Never mind, that's jinxed it. Guess that's the commentator's curse right there. Okay, how about Blaze? Also running wide.
Right.
Oh, that's... yeah, he's done. Next,
And
he also got
jump
curse.
up.
8 straight. What is he going to do?
Not bad.
Oh, not bad. Could have been better. Looking good though, looking solid. Could be an improvement. He is over second down, so he has got some room to improve. Let's see what's going to do. Cross the line, he does not improve.
Antonis had a good last corner.
Yeah, let's see what he's going to do. And he jumps 8-4, 10th place. And finally Wolf's here, but I don't think he's going to improve. I'm pretty sure he made a mistake earlier and crossed the line. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. And that's qualifying over. So Svet on pole. Ahead of his teammate. Svet is third in the standings, Blaze is second in the standings, and might be the other way around, my bad. And Jabil is the championship leader, so the top 3 championship contenders out in front here, and this is going to be a very tasty race indeed. As we are waiting for the lights to come on. As the sun is setting around in Lodwick in South Africa here, it's 5 lights. It's lights out and away you go. And it's Svet out in front with his teammate Blaze just behind him. Looks like Svet's a little bit slow off the line perhaps. Heading into turn 1, sort of it's very close. It's going to be very messy. Everyone trying to survive the opening lap because it's very easy to get caught out by the dirty air. You're going to have a lot of dirty air for everyone to deal with. We see already 2 cars on the mini-map dropping behind. 8 straight and Ramakanava dropping further back in those early stages of the race. It's still...
could be a little bit wide.
We still got the 2 racing stars out in front. Approaching the blind left-hander. It's Svet and Blaze neck and neck. Going through the mid-sector. Svet running a bit wide, which allows his teammate to take over the lead in this race with Wolf and Jabil fighting it out for 3rd place behind. Going through the middle sector now. Oh, that's a wall tap from Svet. He hits the wall a little bit, and that's going to allow the 2 cars behind to close up. I think that was Jabil also hitting the wall behind.
We can use the slipstream.
And that is Wolf in 3rd right now. The cars are already starting to spread out. Everyone having to deal with that dirty air on the opening lap. That's Wolf going very wide as well. That's going to allow his teammates Sukublet and Jabil to go through. Jabil with a pretty poor start for the championship leader. He's got some work to do to catch up to his 2 championship rivals out in front. Meanwhile, speaking of Racing Star, I'm not sure, but... no, I don't think they can actually wrap up the championship this round. Their gap isn't large enough for that.
No, I don't think so.
No. But they are 28 points out in the lead. Racing Star are the yellow team, the yellow and red team, who are currently sitting in 1st and 2nd in the race. Blaze, who is currently leading the race, is currently in 2nd place in the championship, and Svet is in 3rd place in the championship. And then we got Jabil, who is currently our championship leader by only 9 points though, which means he can very well get overtaken this round if he doesn't finish on the podium. He is a 3rd right now with Sukublet right behind. Sukublet, the current Division 3 Europe Cup Championship leader, trying to get a podium in this division as well. And
14.8, that's a fast lap.
everyone crossing the line.
I think the fastest lap Division 1 was a 14.6.
Yeah, well, that's already impressive then if we get this close already. We still see the field's relatively close. There's one blue car falling back of Ramakanava, unfortunately, struggling in these early stages of the race. Meanwhile, we see Sukublet and Jabil still going toe-to-toe for third place in this race. When you're in a situation like this, actually, neither of them are getting dirty air from each other, at least. They're probably getting dirty air from the car ahead, but when on our screens they are going pretty much neck and neck, then they are ahead of each other on both the screens. So on right now, not anymore, but if they were going neck and neck, then Sukublet, for example, now he would be ahead on his screen, but Jabil would also be ahead on his screen. And that means that neither of them would get dirty air or slipstream. So once we see Jabil pull a little bit of a gap, we should start to see Sukublet getting more understeer. Right now, perhaps no, Sukublet's still ahead on his screen, but he is. Both drivers are getting slipstream from the car ahead. Jabil is dropping back a little bit here. So going to Sukublet slightly missing the apex. Jabil very close to running off track. Sukublet running a bit deep into turn 2. Going through turn 3, it looks like Jabil has surged ahead a little bit with still P2 in his sights. The field's starting to spread out a little bit still. Too close, one mistake like Jabil right there. It could mean that a change of position will happen, which seems to be happening right now. Sukublet and Jabil once again going toe-to-toe on this 4th lap of this 32-lap race. It's a long way to go still, as we saw earlier today. The race length is about 40 minutes. Let's see, yeah, 41.5 minutes is what what Hartman took to go from start to finish in Division 1, so, which is one of the longer races, I think, on the calendar, as the average speed around this track is a little bit lower, which means it takes more time to cover the same distance. Because just like, for example, Formula 1 in real life, the race lengths are based on the distance. Meanwhile, on to lap 5 now. Sukublet still behind Jabil. Are there any other battles going on? Yes, there are. There's a battle going on for P7 between Blaze Crap and Exile Titan, both going through turn 1 now. They're also going pretty much toe-to-toe right now, both trying to get ahead of each other and give the other person dirty air, which is going to be crucial going through the middle sector. You don't want to fall behind, because if you fall behind enough, then you're going to have to work for it to get back past. And it looks like Exile Titan has surged ahead now of Blaze Scrap. So Blaze Scrap is going to have to deal with a little bit of dirty air, but so has Exile Titan, runs wide coming out of the hairpin, which allows Blaze Scrap to close in again.
Yeah, ideally you don't want to fall out of the 1.5 second margin. That's usually where you get slipstream from.
Oh,
so once you fall out of that, you're pretty much dead.
And I was just thinking, all this fighting that Exiled and Blaze Crap are doing, and even the guys at the front, that's losing time. That's them losing time to the guys at the front. We see XR is just absolutely flying away from these guys. They're trying to vie for position here.
We might have a battle for the lead right now. We might have a change of position as Svet is slipstreaming his teammate. He now surges ahead coming into turn 1. Let's see what the standings will say. They are separated by under a 10th right now. They are going toe-to-toe on our screens right now, going through each other. And looks like there we go. There is a change of position for the lead as Svet now takes over from his teammate. Still very close between the two. The teammates being inseparable right now, coming into the middle sector here.
Looks like they have escaped a 1.5 second margin to Jabil as well. Maybe just about.
Exile Titan is dropping back in this race. I'm noticing what happened to him. He must have made a pretty big mistake. He was...
yeah, I saw that. I saw that he went very wide into the hairpin, the downhill hairpin. Turn... I don't know what turn. He went very wide into the downhill hairpin, I saw. So that's losing time, like I said before, to that's losing time to XR, which he wants to catch up to, so that way they can work together to get to the lead pack here. So yeah,
Okay.
that's very confusing strategies. Obviously, they're trying to buy for position, but I don't think that they should be vying for position this early in the race. It's 6 laps that we've had. You know, if it was like lap 13 or 14, I would this
Yeah.
is
Of course, the fighters in them will say that they both probably think that they are quicker and they can be quicker than the other, and therefore they want to be leading and they don't want to be stuck in the dirty air of the other car. They want to go flat out. So that's why they are probably trying to overtake each other. But right now, it looks like Svet has got for now cemented his position as the lead driver within the team. In this race at least, as Jabil's trying to close the gap to Blaze, the gap being around a second right now. Going through the middle sector now, Blaze hitting the wall again, he's making mistakes here and there, the gap to his teammate is now over a second. Just about keeps it out of the wall through there, but that's not a good lap from Blaze. It looks like Jabil also made mistakes, also dropped back a bit. So Blaze, he is going to be able to hang on to second place for now.
We can see that he is
losing touch with his teammate.
We can see that he's really trying to push with all these mistakes that he's making. In my experience, which is not very much, but you need to keep your head down and you need to push, but not push so much that you're the one making mistakes, and that lead that you had, not lead, but the what you're trying to gain does not get compromised by your mistakes. We can see that Jabil has like a 1 second gap between him and Blaze, right?
I think Jabil made another mistake, as he is now under pressure from Wolf for as Wolf is now pretty much right behind. So Jabil not having a strong race so far, making a couple of mistakes as he runs a bit wide through the left-hander, which is going to allow Wolf to be able to put pressure on him. Jabil, this is not what he wants in this race. He wants to finish at least on the podium, otherwise he is going to put him in a much worse position for the championship. He needs to be able to keep the pressure on the top two drivers, his two championship rivals, in order to stay in the lead of this championship.
Could try an alternative strategy as well.
Yeah, we were getting close to the pit window. Within the next couple of laps, we should start people starting to pit in. It's a bit early though at the moment. We are at the 9th lap, but we should start the first people to come in after 10 laps ideally, or 11 laps.
And this
maybe
is exactly
earlier
what I was
for undercuts, etc.
This is exactly what I was talking about with Jabil. We can see that he is trying to push and get to second place to close the gap between him and Blaze, but when he ran wide into turn 1, and that's exactly what I was talking about. You don't want to do that. You want to push, when you don't want to push so much that you compromise yourself. So let's see what the pit window and the pit strategies can do. Maybe Jabil, we might see Jabil leading the race. We don't know. So it's going to be excited to watch.
Yes, indeed. Meanwhile, we got a we can see that P6 and P7 are relatively close. Note 7 and 8 are close together. Meanwhile, 9th and 10th are battling out towards the bottom of the top 10. We can see everyone still there are gaps starting to form, but everyone's still doing a relatively job, and there are battles all the way from up to down the field, which is great to see in this race, which is sort of what we missed in Division 1 earlier today, seeing a battle for P9. Which is great to say that we got, even further down the grid, we still got drivers competing for position and for points, of course.
I think Blaze made a mistake. He's now 2.5 seconds behind his teammate. So maybe he should push this lap, maybe pit, try to get an undercut to close it back up.
Yeah, he could do that. Depends on what Svet could do. Svet could also try to pit this lap to cover that undercut and to secure... and to basically secure his track position to ensure that he's going to stay in the net lead in this race. But of course, on the other hand, if you, I don't think those guys can calculate that or can work that out where they're going to come out on track compared to other people. Blaze running very wide there, really struggling with the understeer with his car, and that's really allows his teammate to get away in the lead of this race. But yeah, as I was saying, you could come out in the middle of traffic, and that couldn't be, and that could actually not work out that well for you either. But of course, that's really hard to tell unless you
DSF
did your
pits.
homework. And Blaze is coming in, so is Zved, I think. Yeah, both cars in the pits right now. Jabil follows in, and Wolf also follows in. So the top 4 are in the pits.
Top 5,
Sukerblet
yeah.
is carrying on. It's the only car within the top 5 to carry on. Never mind, he's also in. I thought for a second he was about to overtake. We see one car, Tash the Mash, staying out, probably trying the 1-stop or
yeah.
stretching his stint a little bit longer. Most cars committing for the 2-stop. It's very close in the pits right now. And so Zvet surges out ahead in clean air with Anthony not too far ahead. So I think he's going to get stuck behind Anthony, or he might get held a little bit by the Greek driver in a moment.
So I think a pit stop there was about 28, 27 seconds.
We see the majority of the people coming in. We see Tash the Mash staying out. Last the first challenge here, pretty much. But in all seriousness, the grid might be going for a 2-stop. This is very early for a 1-stop. For the 2 or 1 for a 1-stop. For a 1-stop, you might want to put on lap 16, seeing this 32 laps. Though this is still very, very early days to see who's going to be out.
Yeah.
But Tash the Mash.
Svet is already right behind Anthony. You can see the difference between being on new tires and old tires. So Svet is about to overtake Anthony. He's got a massive advantage. He already got past. Tash the Mash is in. So is Anthony. So no 1-stoppers in this race apparently, as they have stretched their stint by 1 extra lap. Of course, they won't have to do that later in the race. If you pit around if you can pit after 10 laps, but at some point in the race, you're going to have to do 11 or maybe 12 lap long stint to compensate for that, which is going to give you a little bit of a harder time.
No, that's going to really nip you in the butt in the final laps of this race, because we see that Logric is very, very twisty and technical circuit, so you have to have a lot of grip and steadiliness at your hands and the tires. So if you're going on a 1-stop, then the tires might not be as good as the 2-stopper. 2-stopper tires.
Blaze and Jabil are very close on track right now. We might see a battle for second place here. Blaze really has dropped back in the race, and Jabil has made up a bit of time on the other end, because Jabil was 5 seconds behind the leader before the pit stop round, but it looks like he's gained about a second, between half a second and a second, which is good on him. But now he has to find a way past Blaze, which of course Blaze is he's not going to just let him pass, so Jabil is going to have to work for it, but he's also going to have to deal with the dirty air, which is very prominent around this track, considering there are a lot of corners here and few straight lines. Lap 13, Jabil is going to have a lot of slipstream from Blaze. He's not going to quite be able to get past. He's going to get a lot of slipstream or dirty air, which is something you really need to be careful with, especially around corners like this, where the corners are very long and then where it is very easy to run wide. Jabil still keeping up though, right behind Blaze. Let's have a look on board with Jabil right now. See the difference in handling. With Blaze, of course, having clean air right now, but Jabil having a little more understeer to work with. Looks like Jabil's coping very well, extracting most out of it, whatever he can.
We can see how slow Blaze is compared to Jabil. But again, like I said before, you don't want to compromise yourself. Don't want to compromise yourself. We see that Jabil is trying to vie for this position, and he's most likely going to get it, but he doesn't want to take himself off course to compromise himself.
Oh, mistake from Jabil. He cut the corner. It's going to slow down his progress quite a bit. That was not what I was looking for. It was looking like he really settled in there and showed very good pace, but now he's been stepped back about a second. But still comfortably in 3rd place. It looks like Wolf has dropped off. He's now in 5th place with Sukerblet, his teammate, having jumped Wolf for 4th place in this race. With Sukerblet, the Division 3 EU Championship leader, trying to maybe get in the podium fight. Who knows?
he's gonna need a mega few laps in the coming stages and pit stop phases to be able to catch up to Jabil. We see that he's about 4 seconds out on Jabil, and Wolf is about 7 seconds out on Jabil. So they're gonna need a mega few laps, mega pit stop phase to be able to catch up to Jabil, guys.
We got a battle going on for 8th place in this race between 8 Straight and Exile Titan. They're going toe to toe right now. Exile diving into the corner more and seemingly being able to carry more speed, but he gets a worse exit compared to 8 Straight, which is going to allow 8 Straight to get back at him. Looks like Exile is taking tighter lines compared to 8 Straight, really diving it into corners and then getting a little bit slower exit, so keeping it tight to make sure that he makes a corner. And 8 Straight taking a little bit of a different approach, going slow in, fast out more. Like it, as 8 Straight taps the wall there, I think doesn't compromise him too much. Runs a bit wide, which gives Exile the better exit out of the two. Exile surging ahead ever so slightly.
I think that Exile might be trying to play the more conservative approach here. We see that Ludwig is a very, very deceiving track, if you will. The corner cuts, they are very deceiving. You may think that you're on the racing line, and bam, out of nowhere, you get a corner cut. So Exile might be trying to play the safe game here and trying to pressure 8 Straight into a mistake, so that way he doesn't have to do all the
8 Straight running a bit wide though, and that's going to give the place to Exile. 8 Straight now in the dirty air of the Halo car driver.
So I think as it stands, if we finished how we were, I think Jabil would retain the championship lead, Blaze would close the gap to 4 points, and DSF would close the gap to 9 points. Should leave it to the last 2 rounds. Yeah.
Let's see. You get 12 points for 3rd place. Can't really recall what. Oh yeah, I know that the Racing Star Boys got a 1-2, so they are collecting the qualifying points. And there's an 8-point difference between getting 3rd and finishing 1st. And let's see which of the two got pole again. Svet is the one who got pole, who's currently leading the race as well. So Svet is going to get 2 points for pole over Jabil and a further 8 points. So he's going to gain 10 points over Jabil in this round, who makes another mistake. Speaking of Jabil, dropping back now, falling under pressure from Sukublep. But as things stand right now, Svet would be 5 points behind Jabil after this round, and Blaze would be, let's see, he's going to gain not 6 points, he's going to gain 4 points, which means he will also be on 5 points behind Jabil after this round. Which means if things stand right now, we're going to have 3 drivers separated by just 5 points. With 2 rounds to go. How about that?
If only real life F1 could be this good.
Yeah, well, hopefully 2021 is just as good as 2021 F1 is good with Lewis Hamilton coming 7th. A lot of people will take the Monaco Grand Prix and use it to say, "Oh, Lewis Hamilton the car."
Going to go black on stream for a second just to do a check.
See, at the moment, it looks like Sukublep is catching up to Jabil, who seems to have dropped off the pace compared to the 2 racing stars. Svet has opened up quite a commanding lead at 7.6 seconds. And as we go down the grid, you can see about 2 distinctive trains. So there is potential for places to be gained, as the second pit stop window should open, I'd say around from lap 20 to 22. So maybe we'll see some undercuts, overcuts. Who knows?
You definitely see a 3-way fight between Jabil, Sukublep, and Wolf this year, because they were looking very pacey, the 2 pink and white cars. So yeah, if Jabil keeps making mistakes, he'll be able to drop back, which is not what he wants. He wants to be able to stand in third place, with Sven already getting those 10-point lead if this is how the race will continue. So Jabil needs to put his head down, push, but not push so much. He's going to come from.
Oh, looks like Svet complaining about blue flags from Remy Canava.
Oh, I see it.
So he will be getting dirtier. See, Blaze is closed up.
We got a blue flag rule now, by the way. If you get asked by an official to move out of the way, you have to do that as soon as you can. And it looks like he has done that now.
Yep.
He's responded to the call. Generally, you have to, if someone's behind, then you have to let them through. But of course, within a reasonable amount of time, I would say within a sector or so, depending on how much you are holding up the race leader or the car that is lapping you. But the second rule is if an official sees that you are, if an official tells you to get out of the way, if it gives you the blue flag, then you have to get out of the way ASAP, like at the next corner, which Remuk fortunately did.
Yeah, looks like Blaze gained around a second on Svet there. So
yeah, definitely got helped a little bit. Now Remuk is just about ahead of Blaze right now.
should be picking up with a dirty air around now.
Yeah, Remuk is letting me through.
Blaze get past, yeah.
There we go. Remuk getting out of the way nicely. I think he is going to be able to see. Looks like he knows that there's cars around him now, being a lap ahead of him. So he's going to hopefully get out of the way for them on his own without me or an official having to tell him otherwise or to force
Maybe
him
giving his
get out of the way.
teammate a bit of slipstream here.
Yeah, he could do that. Convenient.
I definitely think that.
Yeah,
Blaze lost that second again.
I definitely think that.
Yeah, there we go. He's going wide, allowing his teammate past.
I definitely think that Mazepin can learn a few things.
So I'd say the pit window's open again now for your second stop.
Yeah.
As everyone's on the two stop.
So we're going to see most people coming in. I saw a green car in the pits already. That's Blaze Scrap, who has just made his second pit stop, the first car out of everyone. It's an early second pit stop, by the way. Must be set because now he has to do 13 laps on his final set. And meanwhile, we're waiting to see what the rest will do. Svet is clearly out front right now. He's got a comfortable lead right now. Let's see what he's going to do. It looks like on the mini-map he is... Can't tell from the mini-map or peek and ball. He's staying out. Blaze is coming in. For a stop, let's see what Jabil will do. Jabil also comes in. Suka Black carries on. Worf is also carrying on, runs very wide, hits the wall. That's going to cost him a lot of time there. Remo Canava is also carrying on, but he's a lap down, not fighting for position. Wolf has a comfortable gap to the next car behind. We see the leaders in the pits now. Svet, of course, has carried on for another lap. As we see most cars coming into the pits this lap.
Wolf hits the wall straight. I definitely think that it's still very early for a two-stop. Again, these tires are only about or laps old considering when you pitted. So if you were going later into the race, like maybe let's say you pitted on maybe like 23, 22 or 23, maybe then you would have a less grueling, like you would be able to you could be able to preserve your tires more by pitting later. And we see that Blazecraft pulled the overcut. A lot of people.
Yeah, we got Svet in the pits as well. Wolf is coming in.
So the gap before the pits between Blaze and Svet was about 7.5 seconds, maybe 8.
I
See
think
what it
7.5. Remco carrying on for another lap. It looks like he's about to unlap himself barely. Might be a little bit annoying for Zvet. The gap between Blaze and Zvet is now 5 seconds. Look at that, 2.5
Ooh.
seconds.
Big undercut.
3.9. That's more than that. 3.5 seconds then. Almost 4 seconds.
I definitely think
Oh,
that you feel
Remco ready
that.
to get out of the way very nicely. He's also going to have to get out of the way for the next car behind.
It's nearly a 3-second undercut. It's quite crazy.
At the start of the season, we didn't have blue flags, by the way. We just said, like, if you come off the lap car, we just have to overtake yourself on your own merit. But a lot of drivers have complained in the past that that's annoying and that they really get held up, especially if you're racing around tracks like this where dirty air is really prominent. It can really ruin your race, which has happened to a few drivers where they lost positions because of because of them getting dirty air from lapped cars. But right now, since round 7, I believe we added the rule where you have to get out of the way for leading cars, for lapping cars, and that you can't hold them up too much. Which I'm sure the top guys are right here are very glad that rule has been introduced. It makes their life a bit easier, and yeah. Meanwhile, looking further at the back, we got a battle going on. We got 2 battles going on towards the back. We got a battle for 8th place between 8 Straight and XR, and we got a battle going on for 10th place between Anthony and Tash Damash.
He's just got past.
Remco has pitted as well. He is, of course, a lap down from everyone else. Really struggling in this race, unfortunately. Doesn't look like he has quite the pace of the rest of the guys. But good on him for still carrying on this race, though, despite being a lap down.
Also, looks like the mega undercut Blaze did's kind of working for him because he's ahead of Wolf now.
Yeah, he is barely ahead of Wolf, though. Only by a couple of tenths if I'm looking at the leaderboard. So Wolf might be trying to get past him soon. Meanwhile, we got 8 Straight and XR still close together with
8 Straight running really wide. Look at that. And that gives a position to XR.
Yeah, Wolf is now trying to get past Blaze. Blaze a bit slow through the middle section. Approaching the triple chicane here. And looks like Wolf has got position from Blaze.
It's a shame nobody did the one-stop this race.
Yeah. Would have been interesting to see. Would have added an extra layer of... would have made the race more interesting, that's for sure, if there were split strategies. But unfortunately, everyone seems to go for the safe strategy, which is a 2-stop, which of course is a bit easier to work with. You don't have to deal with the same amount of understeer.
Oh, 8
But still, yeah.
Jeez.
Still, I feel like the 1-stop is still viable if you don't get held up too much in dirty air from other cars. I mean,
it definitely might be viable, but I don't think that anybody...
I mean, the 2-stop, I got confused. So everyone's doing the 2-stop this time, and despite the 1-stop winning Hartman the race last time out, and Hartman said himself that he wasn't driving all too well.
Yeah, I made a lot of mistakes too.
Yeah, but still, he was pretty strong still compared to his competition that race. Meanwhile, we still got 8 Straight and XR battling out. Looking at the leaderboard, let's see if we aren't missing any more prominent battles towards the front. No, it doesn't look like it. Looks like the top 5, the top 6, the top 7 have settled into their positions for now, being multiple seconds away from each other.
Yes, we are 7 laps to go in this Grand Prix, and see that Blaze, not Blaze, Sved, is still in first, as we see XR running wide, trying to catch 8 Straight.
Yeah.
Sved is in first, and he will get a huge bag of points from this. We see that he had the qualifying, now the points that he gets from the race, if this is how...
23.
Yeah, he'll get 23. He'll get 23 points. So if this is how the race will settle into the final lap of the race, I doubt it. But he will get huge haul of points, and he will close the gap.
Yes, indeed, and Zvet is slowly extending the lead again. His advantage to Blaze again. The gap was 3.5 seconds right after the pit stop phase, but now the gap has become over 5 seconds. So Zvet seems to have a couple of tenths as I think Blaze just made a mistake because that gap is increasing pretty fast, increased pretty fast over the last 10 seconds or so. So Blaze probably made a mistake somewhere, which has cost him dearly.
I think it may have been.
That's going to relieve some pressure from Zvet in the lead, who is looking more and more likely that he is going to bring home the full points. 8 straight again, running very wide. He is slightly putting away from XR though. Speaking of XR, he's also being chased out by Tash and Mash, who has dealt with Anthony and is now trying to close the gap to the Asia Blue Lightning team.
Oh, he's cut the corner though.
As
Anthony
again,
is right
he
back on him.
Straight's running wide and as well. It really seems like 2 is the killer here. But
Ooh.
again, this track is a lot of undulating. Undulating is the word. We have the downhill hairpin. Absolutely. So I can understand.
Oh, Tash has fallen back.
Yeah,
I missed it. I wasn't looking. I was looking at the championship standings again to see if there's anything else noteworthy.
Yeah, so Tash will have to catch back up to get his second consecutive points finish.
Yeah. Meanwhile, still H-Rate and XR going at it. H-Rate still hanging on with XR just behind. H-Rate just about keeping it within track limits right there. And wait, what has happened to XR?
XR frozen.
Oh, he's back. Okay. There was a lag going on there. Briefly lost connection, but luckily didn't disconnect. Like what unfortunately happened in Division 1 to some drivers.
We see that on this track, on certain tracks in Formula Roblox, there's a lot of, if you make a mistake, then you can catch yourself. But on this track, there's really not a lot of margin for error here. As so that if you go over the line a little bit, or if you keep your or if you don't keep your wheels.
Yeah, I think it's because this track has a lot of either long corners or corners followed by other corners, and then it's really more critical that you don't mess up your lines. Because, for example, especially turns 1 and 2, if you run wide there, then you're going to get sucked off the track. You can compare it to what some people might have experienced at Constantina, turn 1. Where if you run wide, you understand you go even further away from the track, and then you really have to slow down in order to get back on track. So that's going to, of course, cost you a lot of time. It looks like XR may have made a mistake right there, going a bit too far to the left before turning in for turn 3, which is going to allow Anthony Grease to catch up a little bit again. We've got a 4-way fight for P8 here. Great to see. XR still all over the back. H-Rate made a mistake. He cut the corner. He cut the hairpin. That's going to cost H-Rate 1 and maybe another mistake. Let's see. Anthony is now right behind with Tash Temesh as well. Still in the mix for this battle. XR now in 8th place. Has a decent gap. 1 mistake. There we go. And you lose a second pretty much. Very costly mistake. Could be a very costly mistake from H-Rate as we only got a couple of laps to go. 4 laps to go as Red is now on the 29th lap of this race.
Looks like Suka Black could be on a charge towards Jabil for the final podium spot as well.
Looks like Remo Canava is getting lapped again. I really was a bit confused by the blue dot between the yellow dots on the minimap, but that's Remo Canava being lapped again by the leaders. We see XR trying to break it, so H-Rate weaving, which is causing everyone behind to weave, of course, because who doesn't want slipstream in this race? Am I right?
Yeah. It's free time, basically, isn't it? Super GT says.
Slipstream is very important, especially on this track, because there's not a lot of straights. The only straights that we have that can really use the slipstream.
Yeah, so once you get some good slipstream, you really have to take the most of it, because you don't get many of it. You don't get much of it over the course of a lap. It's mostly dirty air that dominates this track rather than slipstream. There are tracks where it is easy to follow, like Gisborne or Flevo, where you've got a lot of straight line speed or high speed sections, and a lot of places where you can take advantage of slipstream. But places like here, where there's a lot of corners and few... H-Rate just hit the wall there. Still fighting for 8th place. Tash Damash is now in 10th place, with Anthony just behind. Those two have dropped off from the fight for P8 a little bit. They're still within a shout though. 3 laps to go in this race, as Jabil is about, or has just lapped his teammate again. Doesn't look like much is going to happen at the front. Unfortunately, we're going to focus on the battle for P8. Look at that, tuning back into P8 there, side by side, going on the straight. XR trying to break the toe. That's not going to work since H-Rate is ahead on his screen. They are pretty much going neck and neck through turn 1. It's going to be crucial to see who is going to come out top, who's going to be the one dishing out the dirty air to the other driver, because right now neither of them are getting dirty air, because they are both ahead of each other on their screens. But once someone gets ahead by a significant margin, might be XR, since H-Rate's running wide, and yes, XR is now ahead, so H-Rate now has to deal with the dirty air, and it's going to lose some time as he's running wide again, H-Rate is, which is going to allow the 2 cars behind to also get back in the fight for P8. Oh, mistake from XR, he cut the corner, and that's going to cost him 1 position, and potentially another position to Anthony. Yes, he's about to lose a 2nd position. Anthony definitely within range right there. Tashamash also trying to get involved in a 3-way fight for P9 right now, as H-Rate is trying to run away with P8 right there, trying to secure some good points. H-Rate made a mistake. I think he tapped the wall on the exit, or he cut the corner, but now we got 4 cars within half a second, all trying to get some points, because one of them are not going to get points in this race. Remember that, because this battle is spanning from P8 to P11.
So he's got a notification.
Oh wow, that's an annoying way to lose a position. Meanwhile, 2 laps to go. Zvet's still comfortably out in front. Doesn't look like there are any other battles going on. This is the only battle going on right now. 4 cars, look at that. A few cars are running wide here. XR running a bit wide, falling back a little bit down to 11th place. And just within a few moments, you can go from 8th place, which yields you 4 points, to 11th place, which yields you 0 points. But then again, he is making up grounds, and they are inseparable, aren't they, right now? They are really close to get on track. Tash, the one falling back, and it's basically a lottery. You can put your money off any of those guys to come out on top in P8, or get 0 points. It could be any one of those 4 drivers. It's really interesting to watch this unfolds right here. H-Rate again a little bit ahead right now. XR following closely behind, both trying to not make mistakes. Anthony falling back a little bit, but the 2 cars behind are going to get a little bit of slipstream coming onto the main straight. They just have to keep it together. Through here. Final lap has started with Zvet clearly out in front in this race. We're coming onto the main straight. XR trying to break the toe, which isn't going to help, as those 2 cars are going to get slipstream from H-Rate nevertheless.
Visibility will be a big issue as well. You'll just be in a braking zone, you'll see a red car come through you, and you might cut the corner, who knows?
Yep. Also possible. H-Rate now searching ahead, running wide a bit, so does XR. Tashmash is keeping it on track though. Meanwhile, as I'm looking on the mini-map, Zvet is he's in the final sector now, about to win this race and take a closer step to the championship lead, doing good business in the championship, as Zvet is now about to cross the line and win the race.
Yep. Blaze.
Meanwhile, Blaze about to come home in 2nd place,
Racing Star 1,
followed
2.
by Jabil. But meanwhile, let's focus on the battle for P8, which is the battle we care about at this point. H-Rate has surged ahead, need to keep it out of the wall in this middle sector. Anthony has fallen back quite a bit, so it looks like he's out. He is not going to score points. 8 straight now, comfortably ahead. Can he keep it together? He's going a bit deep into the first corner. XR running very wide. XR could be losing a position to Tash the Mass behind. 8 straight looks like he's got P8 in the back right now. There's a lap car ahead as well. Looks like XR is going to hang on to take P9. Tash the Mass. No, Tash jumps to P9.
Oh.
Tash snatches P9 from XR and collects 2 points. XR gets 1 point, and Anthony is the one, unfortunately, just about missing out on some points. Very close finish between those 4 cars.
Yeah. It's like F2.5 is better than F2. That's what vision lag does for you as well. Looked like XR finished ahead, but in reality, Tash just about clenches P9. Oh, Blaze got fastest lap. Yeah, so lively end to Division 2 here in Lodwick.
Yeah, Blaze
we'll
got the fastest lap. So, if I'm correct, the championship standings now will be Jabil still out in front, then Blaze with 4 points behind, and then Zvet 5 points behind Jabil. So 5 points between the 3 championship contenders. This is going to be very interesting heading into the final 2 rounds of the season. That's it for the stream. We will see you next time out at for Division 2. We will be back at Kalima for the penultimate round of the season in 2 weeks' time. Stay tuned for that. Stay tuned for. Make sure to subscribe to this channel for more league racing. You get and be notified when the next live stream will be aired on this channel. And thank you for watching the stream. By the way, if you want to join the league as well, I've seen a lot of questions about people wondering how to join this league. There's a link in the description of our streams where you can find the link to our Discord, from where our league is run. So make sure to join our Discord server if you wish to get involved with it as well. If you are looking for some excellent racing, as we just saw. And yeah, thank you for watching.